Okay. Um, got all the things set up here. And yeah. So, what's up? We are going to get into some drafts here and finish up our 5 entries in this $10 tournament. Again, this is, sorry, $2 entry, $10 max, the Frenchie 5s. The way this one works here, pretty simple. You get 5 entries, 10,000 go to first. The way that you can attempt to get that, in the first 14 weeks, you need to beat the 4 teams that you're drafting against. After that, and then week 15, you got to beat a group of 5 other teams. Week 16, you're going to do the same thing, and in week 17, you're getting placed in a 400-person final. But, yeah. As you can see, this one is filling up really fast. By 9:30 p.m. tomorrow, it is going to be filled. So I need to really lock in here and get my picks in. But, yeah. I will say that best ball is a half PPR format, and not everyone knows this. And it can be pretty rough for people who just find out a lot later about that. So if you are planning on using one of these, which I'm not sponsored or anything, so I'm not going to say too much, but if you decide to do best ball, it is going to be like that. Anyway. All right. We're going to be getting into one of these. And while we wait, why don't we take a look at over here? I also don't know if my rankings are updated here. So, or if all my exposures are updated. So we're just going to make sure that they are. Here you go. Pretty simply, draft completed here. And I'm just going to email it to myself. Wow, this is the longest I've ever had to wait for this draft. Yeah. So they are automatically updated my rankings, or my connection to my rankings. Yeah. In this draft, it's actually kind of crazy. We were really close to auto picking here. David Montgomery is actually not at all the pick that I wanted here, but I have 0% David Montgomery. Even though this is a slow draft, I mean, it just 0 people. Like, like it's actually 0 entries here. So, yeah, it really didn't make too much of a difference here. I'm just going to reload. I had 30 minutes left, so in my 10 hours, which is insane, yes, but I'm glad I made it work because that could have been horrible. I think I would have ended up taking up Cam Skattebo and being significantly overweight on him. Instead, we get David Montgomery, our first shares here, and I'm glad to get him in this tournament. So far in this team we have, and you can see over here the draft is starting, pick 5, great. Yeah, AJ Brown, David Montgomery, Jeremiah Love, and Jahmyr Gibbs. So we're looking pretty good here on running back. Wide receiver is kind of in this, but should be looking good. I have 2 players queued up here. As you can see, my highest ranked receiver is Jalen Waddle. My next highest ranked receiver is Mike Evans. And I really would prefer to get a receiver here. But I don't think both of them are going to be there. I really hope this doesn't happen while I'm at work, but we'll see. But yeah, this is not going to be the Jahmyr Gibbs draft. Obviously, the one that we're in is the Jahmyr Gibbs draft, but sadly, it's not going to be multiple. We are likely going to get JSN here, which we don't have too much of. I could always reach and get Jonathan Taylor, but I do like the idea of starting wide receiver. I think in these first couple of rounds, it's just better to play it safe. As you can see, I have Jonathan Taylor under CMC, and he is well ranked underneath here. But yeah, it's probably gonna be JSN here, unless yeah. Yeah, going to be a pretty cool night. Pretty chill. As you can see, this is basically my rankings and a lot of people's rankings. And the main reason that is we've come to a time in these underdog drafts where we value wide receivers a lot more, even though it is half PPR, just because of the amount of upside that wide receivers have in general over running backs. You can start 2 running backs and 5 receivers or 4 receivers in a week versus 3 running backs and 3 receivers. So guaranteed you're at least starting the same amount of receivers, much less running backs. Again, in a week, there are generally only, if even, a maximum viable running backs of 32. Wide receivers, there are like 50. Just because in these formats, the random receiver who grabs 2 touchdowns is pretty useful. But yeah, it may get a little loud here, but that is also something I need to figure out. I think if I just press this button, it should mute me. Yeah. See, Justin Jefferson makes it to the second round here. This is not that uncommon of a start. But wow, I stopped paying attention for 2 seconds. JSN, Amon-Ra, that's pretty standard. Jonathan Taylor, pretty standard there. But we see CeeDee Lamb, Genty, CMC. I've seen Genty jump so high in ADP, and I really hate this position here for Genty. After we make our pick, I'm going to take a look here and see. So the buy conflict actually does steer me away from going Drake London here. I do want to see if we do have the Brock Bowers pair already. We do. And we don't get Brock Bowers, so maybe this is the time that we bet on Derrick Henry. Who has been falling in these drafts, but I'm not a big Derrick Henry fan myself. Derrick Henry was ranked 21 here for me. So, not the biggest fan of that, but it is what it is. Yeah, these are some crazy, and I wanted to see, it's Mark Bryant who has him. Yeah, his ADP has risen to 11.5. I'm not okay with taking him until it's the second round, honestly. Like, I'm okay with taking him 13, 14. If I keep seeing this trend where he's going before McCaffrey, McCaffrey may be someone that I'm willing to buy into then at that price. And this comes from a Niner fan, so yeah, I just don't believe that there's much left there. You saw it running wise, he's not really left there in a half PPR format. The spammed receptions, while that is a good amount of points, it's not enough for me to take McCaffrey any higher. But we get the quick start here in which George Pickens has been falling in ADP. We're back down where he has an ADP of 24.2, but we are getting him at 29. He is my highest ranked player here. I also have him ranked at 24, basically at ADP. But that works out very nicely for me. As you can see, Rashee Rice is somewhere way down here. If he's even on here, he's 31 actually, so he's about priced into my rankings, which is crazy because I thought I over dropped him, but I guess that's a pretty standard opinion on Rashee Rice now. But I feel pretty good about this start. This George Pickens start is going to be pretty uncommon. We see this team here reaches on Josh Allen. Because I think his ADP is around 31. So, pretty nice, honestly. I like this start for them. I like our start better, but that might be biased. I obviously don't like Derrick Henry, and I think the tool will eventually tell me that it wants me to take. It's telling me right now 5. I think if I take a couple more running backs here, it may tell me 4. I think I may go around that and do 5 just because, Derrick Henry is great. I just don't know if I like his price. I take him here because he's falling a little bit to us. But honestly, I'm okay with him falling a little bit more. It's just, obviously, his injury potential and everything is priced in to his current price, but I'm still not a big fan. If we can get Tedrow McMillan here, that would be amazing. I don't know why he has also fallen in this. But yeah, these $2 drafts, you can be crazy, but you may get some great values here. Josh Jacobs is someone that all 11.1% of him is from my first couple of drafts, and we do not get Tedrow here, which makes an abundance of sense. In this draft, did I just take I have Micah Evans lined up, so that's not ideal. I would like to take a running back here, so I hope that one of these two comes back to us here. He is my highest ranked running back. I think Travion becomes my next highest. I have Travion Henderson over Cam Scatterboo, but I have so much more Travion Henderson, so we will stick with the Scatterboo decision here. The reason why I do have it like that anyway is because I just don't. I think that in a best ball format where you don't need to worry about weeks to start Travion Henderson, there are more weeks where Travion Henderson is going to give you 30 than Cam Scatterboo is even going to give you 20. I think Cam Scatterboo may have more usable weeks, but the weeks that is going to be a winner for you is going to come from Travion Henderson. And in these kind of games, you need those explosive weeks. And I just don't think that Cam Scatterboo is good for 130-point week a year, I think. And that's not something that I'm really interested in. I do have Bucky Irving as my next best. I know that he's fallen significantly in ADP due to his condition, but I would love to take Bucky at ADP here. If Colston Loveland also makes it back, it wouldn't be the worst pick in the world. Taking a tight end 7 out under ADP, I don't like his draft position. You can see that by my 0% Colston Loveland drafted. But I am very willing to take Colston Loveland here if we do it. I'm just usually not the kind of guy who wants to take a tight end before I take a QB. See, Devontae goes, DJ Moore. So it does look like Colston Loveland is going to be our pick here. This Bucky Irving is going to continue to fall. I'm sure that this next guy is going to take Bucky. But, yeah. We may actually have to just drop him in our rankings here because I do think that I wouldn't take Bucky Irving over a lot of these players. Whoops. So Bucky Irving is at 43. I will take both Scatterboo, Henderson, and I think Josh Jacobs. I would rather have Bucky Irving than Josh Jacobs, but 46 and Irving is still there. Yeah, this may be an interesting one here. Wow. I got a really bad haircut, but yeah. Ladd McConkey, Malik Neighbors. Nothing crazy here, but We will see. Yeah, there's like neighbors texting me right now, but yeah. We see Bucky Irving finally go off here at 58, which I really... Ooh. I don't like the taking the swing on Bucky Irving and they take Parker Washington at 63. You get this immense value and you're taking PJ Washington back to back with Brian Thomas. Or PJ Washington, Parker Washington. I would have loved a Jordan Tyson pick there, but it is looking like we'll get Caleb here. Which I kind of want to chill on drafting Caleb here. But you don't have much more. Antonio Williams at 159 is our next opportunity to grab a receiver of the caliber that is, or that would stack with Jane Daniels, and Jane Daniels goes, so it's fine. We're not even going to worry about that. Joe Burrow, you don't get any options here, so I will take Caleb here. That is something I wanted it to detect, and I realized that I have not worked on coding that part in, but get the Colston Loveland, Caleb Williams stack, and I think that's a pretty elite stack here. We're gonna make it out of round 6 with a quarterback, which means I will be slowing down on my quarterback consumption here, really working on my running back wide receivers for the next couple. We do have the opportunity to take Dak Prescott though. And while I hate the Dak price at 80, or taking him at 77 is kind of too rich for my blood, but if I don't have any other players that I'm really a fan of here, we may just take Dak and call it a 2 QB draft. Obviously, if Marv makes it back to us, we'll love Marv. Marv, Alec Pierce, Tucker Kraft, who's fallen here. This is the Tucker Kraft price that I'm okay with because he did suffer a major injury, and you can see that he's falling more and more. I'm waiting on a little bit more information, but I think that it may be time for me to start dropping Tucker Kraft in my rankings here. Marv comes up here, and if Marv falls to me, I would love to take him. We will be taking Marv. Again, elite level prospect. We'll see what they do with him. And where does Michael Wilson go these days? I think Michael Wilson is still going... Yeah, he's going a whole round after him. And Marv gives us the capability of coming back here and taking Jacoby Brissett later on. So, I have a decent amount of Dak, I think. If we take a look here, I have not a horrible amount, but not an amount that I need to be further invested in. If Dak somehow comes back to us, I would love it. I think this team might be auto-picking. Yeah, that team just auto-picked Dak. Yeah, and they're okay with that because they have CeeDee Lamb. That is kind of to be expected. Honestly, I don't mind it. We do have JSN, so Sam Darnold is someone that we're going to keep an eye out on here. Yeah, I do want to start loading up here on running backs and receivers. Oh, Kyle Monangai is super nice here, but I really don't want to be more invested in Kyle Monangai than I need to be. Michael Wilson, I do have Marvin Harrison. I could just take the double Arizona lineup. They are going to be trailing in like 100% of games that they play this season. I think they are actually opening as underdogs in every single game. Um, so that is the funniest thing in the world. I can also take Scats double up here with Jackson Dart, but I have taken Jackson Dart twice in this specific tournament. Yeah, my Mahomes exposure is a little low right now, and I think that Mahomes just, God, like, I hate Mahomes because I'm a Niner fan, but if I wasn't a Niner fan, I would love Mahomes. I would glaze the hell out of this kid. He goes, so I don't have to make that decision. I may. My exposure is high, but at the end of the day, ooh, Chris Godwin makes it back to us. Michael Wilson is our best player here. We will take the Arizona Cardinals team here. Said no one ever. And we may have to hold back and take 6 running backs in this one. It's not 100% saying that right now, but we may take 6 running backs. Because at this point we have 4 receivers. We have an elite, or not an elite name at tight end, but we have tight end 3 over here. In a very tight end light draft, watch as like every tight end goes off the board here, but I will like hold back on getting any tight ends here. My highest ranked name is going to be Jackson Dart. They want us to take J.K. Dobbins. I'm going to go ahead and take Xavier Worthy on the reach, or not even a reach, he's at ADP pick here. But I don't love drafting Xavier Worthy, as you can see with my 0% drafted. Get that with Michael Wilson and Xavier Worthy in this one. But we're going to be slamming some running backs in these next couple of rounds. We're going to have to see what exactly we have available. Now is when it's going to get pretty loud. But let's see. Kids start texting very differently than I did. I feel very old around my family friends. This is where we need to start looking at names at quarterback as well. Dart is a faller here. He is falling 10 picks behind ADP. Golden is there, but I don't want to take another bye conflict here because we have 3 week 14s. I will take the best running back that we have available, who will be J.K. Dobbins. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. So we will see here how we do this. I would like if he, yes, okay. Now I'm okay with reaching here and taking Jordan Mason. I don't love reaching here for Jordan Mason. I like reaching here. At the same time, we will probably get one of these guys on the way back. I may take an unstacked Kyler Murray here. Because Kyler Murray has options that you can get later on in Jordan Addison. Let's see where Addison's ADP is. Oh my god. Addison is gone. I'm bought. We'll take Kyler here. By conflict. Not there. And I guess we can take Jordan Mason on the way back. I do not think that in 2026. Aaron Jones is equivalent to Jordan Mason, as they are shown here. Aaron Jones was a straight maybe 12-point demon on average last year. He got injured every other play. You basically touched him and he got injured, but yeah. I will be taking Jordan Mason here. Aaron Jones is a do not draft name. So I don't feel too bad here. Again, taking a look at my picks. Caleb Williams, Kyler Murray. We take Jordan Mason, who has like no way of going here, and we finally will bolster up our running back room. As the ADP keeps falling for Aaron Jones, I think eventually you'll stop seeing him at a higher price than Jordan Mason. I don't think that either are really good, but I think that Jordan Mason is going to take more reps. And this should be a better offense. This defense is still elite. They are in a very competitive division, but I think there's a lot more to be happy about with this team. That being the Minnesota Vikings. Looking at our options here at running back. Where do we have... Shaheed has... You're joking. Who? I'm sorry, what? Who did that? 123. Someone reached 20 picks for Sam Darnold. That has to be the worst thing I've ever seen. Oh my god. That is really annoying. Minnesota-wise, I may want to take another tight end in Minnesota with TJ Hawkinson. I'm still pretty down on running back, so we may take some shares in Tyrone Tracy if he does not come down here, okay? Fuck my life. We will see what we can do. I really don't like Keaton Mitchell here, but he is the only running back at ADP. We could take Isaiah Pacheco, but he has the bye conflict with, I believe, Jordan Mason. We're gonna just do that, though. I'm sorry, what the hell is going on with this extension? AJ Brown is not available. Malik Willis. Jonah Coleman, who I am okay with taking here. We can go Jonah Coleman and then go Juwan Jennings. We should have gone Juwan Jennings first. This is not a good showing from your boy. Jalen McMillan is still on the board, and he has a falling ADP. Yeah, I need to go through and update my rankings, but that is a problem for another time. We have a 64% chance that Juwan Jennings comes back to us here. 65. basically 2/3 here. Not a bad chance here, but I am not too excited on having to be scared about taking Jawan Jennings as a 49er fan and knowing that he's going to be wide receiver 3 in this offense. An offense with Justin Jefferson. I get the 68% chance in which we get him, where they're basically saying within these 4 picks here, that's who West Coast Tex is about to take. But wow. Jalen McMillan is my highest rated receiver. I would have loved the stack with Kyler, but we're not getting that. And we're going to probably be looking at a tight end in the next upcoming round here. That sucks. I do think that Kenyon Sadiq is significantly more talented than Chig and Gadsden. And I think that Gadsden, honestly, is only as high up as he is right now in my rankings due to the complete BS that is his ADP. I have way too much Gadsden. I think that he is way overpriced and a horrible pick in this part. I think he should be going. If we take a look at tight ends here, I think tight end 22 here above TJ Hawkinson is where I feel comfortable taking Gadsden. Considering that this is the same offense that has David Njoku, and this is the same offense that has 3 other pretty decent ball catchers in Trey Harris, in Quentin Johnson, and Ladd McConkey in reverse order. So it is a loaded offense with a solid run game, and not that many people can be projecting to be that good. I just hate that price. If TJ Hawkinson makes it back, we will be taking TJ. I don't have Debo in my rankings, and that's because he's a bum, and fuck that guy, and I will never be drafting him. But yeah, his price is going up, and he's already way too high for my blood. I will take a lot of these players before him. But I did not realize I had 15% Brian Robinson. That is insane. I don't know if Hawk is going to make it to us at this point, and if he doesn't, I might cry, because that will be like 20 straight snipes, but we'll see. Gino goes. Stribling. This guy, Crystal Almighty, Christ Almighty, I am an idiot, is the one that has a majority of that, but Juwan Johnson goes. Mendoza. Oh my god. Thank the Lord we are going to get TJ Hawkinson here. Again, I don't think that TJ Hawkinson, same thing with Gadsden. The only reason I'm taking TJ Hawkinson here is because of the stack. I actually don't hate. Is that another week 10 that my issue is at? Nah, my week 10 issue is with Jonah Coleman. So if Jonah Coleman is going to be playing, I think he's going to be playing for us in the playoffs. And that just is to mean that if there's an injury, I expect it to be later on in the season, more likely than earlier in the season. He's either going to be playing for us in the championship, or not in the championship, but I hope we can have Derrick Henry, Cam Scatterboo, Jordan Mason being our players here. But we will take Dylan Sampson here. Again, that's hedging against Quinshon Judkins. Again, not a great offense to be hedging against, but I will take Brissett here. That is my number 1 option. And we may reach on him just to guarantee that we get him, because anyone else here at this range is pretty much the same. but Brissett is a must if we have the double Arizona Cardinals. And we will be done here at quarterback, which is great. We still have 3 more picks. The team is actually projecting out pretty well, which is surprising to me because I'm not a big fan of this team. But we'll see what happens. Brissett is projected another 166. So we're actually not going to project out too well. We may project out in the middle of this pack here, but I'm not too worried. Zachariah Branch is someone that is interesting. Ayuk is someone I'm not interested in at all as a 49er fan. We will see if we decide to take him. Because I will be taking Brissett over him because Brissett is the next quarterback up, and you just see Tua get reached on right there. So I will take Brissett, and I think the 5 running backs is not bad here. Again, I'm willing to gamble a little bit here with the $2 and bet on Derrick Henry, but again, if you're watching at home, gambling's bad. Don't do it. This is just because I'm a degenerate, and we're just going to keep reloading this because sometimes these drafts don't fully load up, but if Daddy 34 comes on, he's probably going to do both his picks, but we will take Brissett, and we will honestly just take whoever else comes to us at this point. So we're going to take a receiver and a tight end at this point. Greg Dulcich is a name that I'm in love with. I think this price for Greg Dulcich is insanely low, and he's starting to get a little bit more priced in with 9 increases in ADP, but the fact that the second tight end in Philly is going before Greg Dulcich, who may be the best option in Miami. I'm a big fan. And even though his ADP is up 9, I would like to take him at this point while it's still there. And still be taking him at a faller's rate. I'm a big fan of Emmanuel Wilson because I do think that if Jadarian Price goes down, there is a guaranteed volume thing there. We see Greg Dulcich go. So let's get Tank Dell in these. I'm a huge fan of Tank Dell as well. Again, he is CJ Stroud's literal best friend. Means that there's going to be some guaranteed plays that are drawn up here. In a year that CJ Stroud needs to prove himself, let's see what he can do with his best friend on the field. He may turn back into wide receiver 2 in Houston. Wide receiver 3 in Houston is not that appealing to me, but again, for his price at 197, with an average pick at 190, I'm okay with taking him here. And we have our last pick coming up here. Let's take a look at the roster construction. I think the roster construction is just going to say to take a tight end here, and I may agree here, because our top tight ends are not the greatest in the world, but we're probably going to end up taking a tight end here in a tight end heavy draft. I'm surprised that you see an upward trend in Eli Stowers' ADP if he falls to me, which would be pretty incredible because we are on pick 204 and I'm 8 picks away, so 212. He doesn't fall. Not worth talking about anymore. Jake Tunges. I'm okay with drafting him. See who I have actually as my highest ranked tight end that's left on the board. I don't have many tight ends left on the board here. Got Cole Kmet down here, Mason Taylor. Yeah, my Dawson Knox was originally because of that issue in his injury. I will take Terrence Ferguson, someone who I don't own any of, and could not be bothered seeing that Colby Parkinson gets taken over him, and I don't know what that is, but I do think that Terrence Ferguson is a better player than Colby Parkinson. And originally I wasn't feeling too great about this draft, but now I feel a lot better seeing that we're projected out for 2,800 points here. I think that Terrence Ferguson is the younger name. I think that Terrence Ferguson has the potential to get moved in the offseason. Again, he is a tight end. We're taking him at the third. We're really banking here on Colston Loveland being our number one guy. You have some play with TJ Hawkinson, but 120 picks apart, or 110 picks apart, 60 picks apart, or 50 picks apart, like, not very worried here at tight end. I don't think tight end is a make or break in a format where 4 players or 4 teams are going to make it. But yeah, we're just gonna go over here and go look ahead through this draft. We're gonna see that so far we are projected to barely make it. Wow. But we are projected to be the 4th best team, which means that we would advance. Which may be interesting. We'll see what happens. But yeah. Awesome. So we are going to real quick just hit that button. Take a look at the trusty email here, where we can go ahead and download the exposures. And if you just reload, you're going to see that my exposures are going to change instantly. Yeah, Marshawn Lloyd went down 0.7%. Yeah, let's get into the second one here. Let's see what we're at now. We went up 1% during that entire draft. Thank God I'm a bum and I have nothing else to do because I would not be able to get into this draft at all. Let's go. Let's hope we can get the first overall or second overall pick here. The fact that Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson actually have had this movement is surprising to me. You can easily tell here, based on my percentage ownership, that I believe that Bijan is the better player. But I've gotten him at a worse price. But I don't think that pick 1 and 2 over picking by 1 is a huge issue in price. But yeah, I have Bijan as my best player, and that is going to stay this way because I think that this is an overreaction to the bell cow label that comes here. He was basically the bell cow last year, and the only reason he wasn't the bell cow at all times was because, hey, he's not that great at running in between the tackles. He is not that great when it comes to punching the ball into the end zone. He's an excellent player, don't get me wrong. He is the 2nd best player in fantasy, but Bijan Robinson is the most skilled running back I have ever seen. Bijan Robinson, or that I have ever seen behind Christian McCaffrey. In this year, at his age, Bijan Robinson, to me, is the best player. But we're going to wait on this draft to fill up. The meantime, I guess we can talk a little bit about the Spurs. There is no real news, I believe. I will say, yeah. So the fact that they're ruining the New York City watch parties is really something. I have a really good friend of mine who is not actually a big sports guy, but he has been going to these kind of watch parties because they're free, and it's just a vibe to be there with your friends and everything. To stop it because of a president who a lot of people are not a big fan of, um, who I can personally say, and I don't think that this is anything that matters, I'm not a big fan of. Um, it's very interesting to see, but yeah. We will be taking a look at what will happen here in this next game. Maybe, just maybe, you have Knicks fans turning against him, but I don't think that if that is the reason why the Knicks lose game 3, that would be the craziest thing ever. But we will see what happens here. So as you can see, these ADPs are pretty jumbled, but Genty is now going at 12. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's not an increase or decrease, but I haven't been seeing him go at 12. I've been seeing him go at 9. And this is a draft with very old information in here. Genty went at 13. Again, this is not the most current ADP in drafts. Like this is obviously all reloaded data, but the way that the ADP worked back then to start it off this draft was significantly different, and you could see that people were basically always getting Genty at the 1-2 turn, and that is a great pricing for Genty, in my opinion. I think that 13, 14 is the range where I'm comfortable in picking him. And again, that is because he is a Vegas Raider. If Brock Bowers wasn't a Las Vegas Raider and say he was tight end 1 for Patrick Mahomes, we get the 6th overall pick in this one. He would be going up there for me too. We may just take Jonathan Taylor in this one. I do have Amon-Ra ranked higher. I do have Christian McCaffrey ranked higher. But honestly, I don't actually have Christian McCaffrey ranked higher anymore. I'm going to be honest. I will put Christian down here. And you see that I have Ashton Genty here at 13. Yeah. I don't know. Like, this is just an interesting selection for me. We will see if anything crazy happens here. Gibbs, Bijan. I did see a draft where Bijan went 4th, and I don't know if I did that on stream, but what the fuck? Y'all are crazy out there. And you can see our JSN percentages are a lot more level, and we will take Jonathan Taylor in this one just to spice this up. Picking directly in the middle does mean that we have, in this case, we'll have 12 picks until we come back. In this case, we'll have 10. Did want to fill my water, but we'll see if I do that later. We are 45 minutes into the stream, so it's not going to be the longest stream in the world. Redrafting number 1. Last 10 number 1 overall picks. Did they realize that Steph Castle was not number 1 overall pick? And oh, so they're saying who should have been number 1. Steph Castle, yeah. I agree. Number 1 was Zachary Richer. No one knows who that is. So, Cooper Flag, Steph Castle, Victor Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren. I don't know if I would say that I want Chet Holmgren over Paolo Banchero. I think that I would want Paolo Banchero. Um, y'all let me know if you watch this, what you think, but there's not a chance in hell that I take Derrick Henry here. I will take Drake London. I will take AJ Brown. I think that Kenneth Walker, obviously, if we somehow get him, but I do think that the Kenneth Walker Jonathan Taylor combination is going to be super uncommon, and I will be grateful to have that if this guy decides to go there. And wow, I am very grateful for you. I am a lot higher on Kenneth Walker. The reason why he's priced this low, I believe, is his affiliation with the Chiefs and the fact that the Chiefs, hey, sometimes they forget about running the ball because you have the best quarterback in the league, a top 3 quarterback of all time in your roster. You will forget about running the ball sometimes, but at the same time, this is a Super Bowl MVP running back, and if anything, he has shown that he just needs a few runs to really get himself going. Especially in an offense where Patrick Mahomes may not look the greatest next year, where Patrick Mahomes has the ability to dump the ball off to Kenneth Walker. We've seen what he can do with catching the ball as well. In a place where, depending on what happens with Rashee Rice, you may not have any pass catchers in Kansas City. Because, Travis Kelce is 90 million years old. I wouldn't mind taking literally the entire Chiefs onslaught here. This could be my Rashee Rice draft. I do think that I have, if I wanted Rashee Rice, who would stay here, I might take Kyren. And, starting 3 running backs would be really, really unique, but I would be sacrificing all my receivers, and I would have to go receiver all the way through. I don't really know if I want to do that. We got Breece Hall, Kyren, Josh Allen, and then Chris Olave. Josh Allen, I think, is a luxury pick here, which I would have loved to have taken if I did not go the double running back here. So we're not going to take Josh Allen in this specific case. Chris Olave is our highest ranked wide receiver, and if he falls to us, we will be taking him. I am sorry, Rashee. We will not be taking you in this one. Chris Olave, someone that won me a lot of money last year playing in fantasy. He is honestly a pretty big reason why I'm even doing this, so yeah. But we can just do this. Put me in the bottom corner here. Yeah, but Chris Olave, what I don't like is that I gotta wait a bunch before I make my next pick, so I can't really, it is very hard to think ahead here, because when you attempt to think ahead here, you get met with stupidity, honestly. With this kind of start, we're looking at a 4 running back, 8 receiver team. Well, we're gonna see. This may be one of those teams where we somehow take a miraculous 9 if we go double anything later, but this gives us the late quarterback options in Patrick Mahomes. I don't believe that Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor have anything in common here, other than the fact that Daniel Jones makes the offense better, and bigger, I guess. Like, they're a bigger force, but yeah. Just going on here and checking ADPs. yeah. What I will say is there's not going to be a underdog related stream tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a Spurs recap. But Rashee Rice makes it back to us here, actually. And I am, again, not a big fan of Rashee Rice, but he is going to be my highest ranked player here. At 31, making it back to me at 43. So I am perfectly fine taking someone who falls 10 picks here. And I might be missing out here. Let's just do a Rashee Rice search. Knee jail. Obviously, this is the funniest thing that I've ever seen. Again, not sponsored, but yeah. Rashee Rice at 11 is insane. I don't think he's that good. Oof. Yeah, that is a interesting release. That is not something that I would be excited about. I will probably be taking DeAndre Swift here. Unless he goes, and I may take... I do like taking a running back here. I am higher on Bucky than a lot of other people are. And I know that he lost a lot of people money last year, and that may be a huge reason. DeAndre Swift goes, so I don't even have to worry about it. But I think that he is an elite prospect. Again, with Devontae Adams at this price, I am not very keen on betting on a... What? Let's see. ...33-year-old wide receiver who ended up receiving the ball 60 times with 14 touchdowns. That is an insane touchdown rate. You can see that it is less receptions for less yards and more touchdowns. And his average was higher, yes. He was more efficient. But you can see that this is an almost inconceivable touchdown rate that came with the Matthew Stafford MVP season. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm incredibly high on the Rams. In this kind of scenario, you will not see the Rams defense giving up on them. The Rams are going to be leading in a lot of these games. I think that he's overpriced. I'm not willing to take him. It's quite simple, but let's see who we can get here. We're going to bolster up our receiving room here a little bit with Roma Dunze still on the clock. I could go Jordan Tyson and bet on the Saints. Again, I don't gamble, so I will not be doing that. Brian Thomas is my highest ranked receiver. I have him over Jordan Tyson here, and I will continue to have Brian Thomas. I'll be taking Brian Thomas here. And did I just take him? I may have just taken him, but I don't see myself taking anyone else here. So, Brian Thomas, welcome to the team. It's about a 3% difference each time I add a player. So, it's not the biggest deal. And this guy takes Parker Washington right out after me. Again, these two are not equivalent. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, we're going to take a look at Parker Washington here. And this dude is an insane wide receiver. But if you take a look at this 2025 NFL season for Parker Washington and look at the games where he had his most yards, week 10, this random week 4, but week 12, he has 2 games here where he has above 80 yards, 1 game above 90. In this game in itself, he has 2 receptions. So he is the deep shot receiver here. These are returns. I was going to say this does not make any sense to me, but we are going to be on the clock here. I do think Tony Pollard, Tucker Kraft is our highest ranked name here, but Tony Pollard is next. I will take Tony Pollard and basically have the strongest running back room in the league. I really hope that didn't get picked up because that was a crazy fart. But yeah, we are going to take straight receivers, quarterbacks, and tight ends here. We're going to take a quarterback with our next pick here. We can look at getting Trevor Lawrence, who doesn't fall to us. So this guy takes Parker Washington, I guess, with the idea of taking Trevor Lawrence, which I don't hate then, but that's annoying for me, personally. I do believe that Mahomes is in this range, and we're going to beg ourselves that we get him. But if we see a run on quarterbacks, then it may not be looking good here. To have 2 back-to-backs, we have a coin flip chance of getting Mahomes here. And I'm not too excited about flipping coins. So we'll see if someone reaches here and takes a Kyle Monangai or a Michael Wilson ahead of ADP, but Harold Fannin goes, who is an above ADP pick, but again, there's only 2 quarterbacks on the board. Still a coin flip chance. We're probably going to see the team that has CD here take Dak on the way back. Wow. Dak goes, and this team doesn't have a quarterback, and they might take Mahomes away from me. The thing about taking Mahomes is you can always stack him later in the rounds by taking a Travis Kelce, by taking anyone, honestly. There's Xavier Worthy, who I'm not too keen on taking, but in this kind of format, Xavier Worthy is a little bit better because he is a big play wide receiver, because if he does catch the ball, it's going to be at least for 20 yards. But again, half PPR is not a no PPR league. I still will prefer the Rashee Rice PPR spam. We'll see if we get Mahomes here. This guy does already have a QB in Josh Allen, so I would really not think that he doubles down. Oh my god. I fucking love myself. That just made me so happy. I think any team with Patrick Mahomes as QB1 is good. We also have the opportunity to make a triple stack here and take the entire Chiefs onslaught. I'm not even kidding. We also have the ability to take Xavier Worthy here. Do I make the entire Kansas City Chiefs lineup? I could even consider taking Justin Fields, assuming that Mahomes doesn't make it ready for OTAs. We're probably not going to go that far, but Blake Corum here on the board. That is my favorite player to take in these drafts, even if he's not indicated as so. He is rising in ADP. That is totally because of the reach that I have through these videos, but yeah, I'm not gonna play around like that. Obviously, it's not. But we got Ricky Pearsall. As a 49er fan, it hurts that I don't have any Brock Purdy shares, but Jacoby Myers, I don't want to take, all things considered. I don't think that Jacoby Myers should be going under Parker Washington, and that's my next thing. I understand the format, but I'm not a fan of that at all. We will take Ricky Pearsall, who may be my highest. It's Michael Pittman. I actually do like taking Pittman here over Pearsall. Also because I just don't have much Pittman, and I'm trying to get in on Pittman before his price rises too much. I think that to me, Michael Pittman to DK Metcalf is 40-60 on who will be a true wide receiver one. And if you take a look at where he goes in this draft, we see DK Metcalf go off at 75, and I just took someone who I think has damn near the same kind of upside as him 30 picks later. So I think that these are going to kind of converge towards what we see with a, you know, sorry, I'm blanking on my words here. But these guys are going to kind of converge at the end, and we will be seeing a much better outlook from these teams. But Tyler Shough is definitely someone that we are looking at here. Hopefully there is, again, a coin flip chance. We won our first coin flip with Patrick Mahomes. We will see if we win another one. Then we will be getting into round 11, where we need to start thinking about maybe taking a tight end here. I can also take Baker, but Baker would be stacked with Bucky Irving instead of our receivers here. But, yeah. I'm actually pretty excited to take Tyler Shough here if I do get that opportunity. And if I don't get the opportunity, I'm equally excited to take Baker. I will be getting one of them. I do have Baker ranked above. And that is what I was thinking. And it's not because I think that Tyler Shough is a bad quarterback, but I do think that the upside that you have with Baker Mayfield is that he runs the ball like here and there. Tyler Shough, you see him run the ball towards the end of the season there, but I really didn't see anything too spectacular out of Tyler Shough. Travis Kelce, again, is a player that we could look at here. I don't think we're going to get him. Less than a coin flip chance here, 40-60. But, yeah. We lose out on the ability to take Tyler Shough. I am okay with that. That would be greedy. And Kelce goes early here in this draft, so we may just take whoever here at tight end and leave it unstacked. I do not... Did I talk about this yesterday? I think I did. In my stream yesterday I mentioned this, but I think the most important position to stack is your tight end. And that is because if a tight end is going to be viable in a week, it is because they score a touchdown. So, again, that is a 10-point play for you. And, yeah. I think tight ends, unless you're getting the elite names, they are very unlikely to perform well. But if they are going to perform well, it's because their quarterback is handing them the ball in the end zone. So, you also have, like, tight ends like Mark Andrews, who have the upside of taking in the tush push. There are a few others like AJ Barner, who I'm a fan of, but we may reach here on Cam Ward. I think I've taken back-to-back quarterbacks, so I don't know if I want to do that, actually. I haven't taken back-to-back, but pretty close to it. We're not going to reach here on Cam Ward. We're instead going to take our highest ranked receiver in Jaden Higgins. Again, he is looking like wide receiver 2 in this offense. You see Khalil Shakir still on the board. And I don't think we're going to get back to Cam Ward here again. This is a coin flip chance here, but CJ Stroud is down there. That's another quarterback that we have just opened ourselves up to. So again, this is a team where I'm feeling a lot better than that previous draft here, and we still don't have a tight end. That sucks. I forgot this entire time we were talking about tight ends and I don't take the tight end. Again, I'm not going to cry over not having a tight end, but in a format or in a pick sense where I'm taking picks these late, I will be taking the 3 tight ends later. If Cam Ward falls to me, there's no way I don't take Cam Ward. And that's just because, again, I don't believe in the position that heavily, but we can take a look here at tight end as well. When you look at the tight ends on their projections, they are all so similar. Other than Chig, they are all so similar all the way down here where you don't have to worry. We're pretty much setting up our team to be tight endless at this point. And you can see Lunch OX Goodies is always in my streams because he knows. I'm kidding. No one has ever been in my streams. There's one stream of mine that did weirdly well with has like 60 views, and it's like one of my longer streams, but yeah. So Cam Ward and CJ Stroud go here, so I may take Dallas Goedert and say fuck everything I just said. Wow. This is a 3 QB team, a 2 QB team, I understand here, where you're taking CJ Stroud as your second QB behind Josh Allen, but the 3rd QB team? Taking Cam Ward here when you have no Tennessee tight ends. You must be mad because you didn't get your guy. Jalen McMillan is someone I'm very heavily invested in, but I'm okay with taking here just because of the Baker Mayfield stack and making it a real stack here. If Daniel Jones does fall, I will take him. I don't think there are any Carolina receivers that show up here. Chris Bizzell, who I could take at the end, but Daniel Jones falls in a coin flip probability. We get Jalen McMillan at a coin flip probability as well, so we'll listen to the coins, how they fall. Hunter Henry, Chigakonkwo are 2 players I'm not very interested in drafting. I would much rather take a Brenton Strange, Juwan Johnson. I would reach on Juwan Johnson at 156. 6 picks ahead of ADP before I take him, but I don't think that I'm going to be taking either here. I think that there's going to be I don't think there's going to be a run on tight end here. We see this guy go back to back here. On this side of the draft, this guy has George Kittle. He may look for a second tight end. This guy has Brock Bowers, Colston Loveland. Okay. This guy should never touch tight end again. Gadsden and Kenyon Sadiq. So this team may be waiting on tight end, especially because they went back to back here. So there's a potential here that we don't get a tight end back, but oof. If Juwan Jennings is still there, is he my highest rated player? No, Juwan Jennings is way lower. We will be taking Jalen McMillan. And that is going to make me quite exposed to him, but I'm a pretty fan of his game. I think that in this format he's pretty nice. And we will see what we can do here. We may take our 3rd quarterback in Mendoza. Aaron Rodgers exists as well. Let's take a look at the assistant and make sure that it still wants a 3 quarterback build. It does. I was kind of hoping it did. Yeah, Juwan Johnson. He falls in price, and he is very clearly that 3rd option here. Maybe even a 4th option if you count Travis Etienne as a real receiving threat. I don't think he is a proper receiving threat. I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars just had a very dynamic offense. So I'm okay with, not taking him here. Or with taking Juwan Johnson here. But let's see what the most recent news is on him. Agrees to restructure his contract. Again, that just means the team's keeping him. Nothing insane. Juwan Johnson does look like he's going to go to me. Brenton Strange is also available, but I think I just took him in the previous draft. So I'll be 6% in on Juwan Johnson in these drafts now. Not a bad number at all here. And damn, I am an old man. I have work tomorrow, so I will be wanting to go to sleep soon. But we'll see. Um, this guy might have gone shit because he has. No, he doesn't. He goes Chigukonko TJ Hawkinson as his two tight ends. This is a guy who took Trevor Lawrence from us, who takes Tyler Shuck afterwards on a run where no one was going to take another QB. He's bad news. Now he takes TJ Hawkinson. That's okay. Honestly, I'll live with it. Sean Tucker is highlighted here as a stack. Man, why is that guy's price rising? I do not believe in that guy one bit. Obviously, you can see my most drafted receiver here is Ryan Flournoy. He showed his potential in that game. His ADP is going to adjust because of it. I'm not going to be much more interested in taking him, but yeah. We could reach here and take Kate Otten. And let's just do it. I think AJ Barner and Gunnar Helm, again, as I said earlier, on a game, if Kate Otten is ever going to have a really good game, it's going to be because Baker Mayfield gets him the ball. In the end zone specifically. Versus if you have a Jalen McMillan game that's good, it could be just because he catches balls for 90 yards in a game, and while that again is still good, it's not nearly as impactful on our quarterback's end as these touchdowns that you're going to see from Kate Otten. So any usable Kate Otten week when you see a tight end that has 15 points, they generally have 4 or 5 catches, 40 yards, and a touchdown. So that is what we are going for here. And I feel pretty set at tight end. We will be taking the next available quarterback. Oh, quarterback-wise, we are fucking cooked. Anthony Richardson has jumped in ADP. Which is insane. And it may be a really strange play, but we may actually end up taking him here. I think that people are projecting him to beat out Riley Leonard in a potential quarterback battle. Emmett Johnson is being highlighted here, and I love Emmett Johnson as a prospect. I just don't feel good about taking a running back in this kind of situation. Again, these are also two quarterbacks which I don't feel like are absolutely necessary to be paired with another quarterback. The draft assistant does tell us that we would want one, but I'm not going to take any of these three. I just took Tank Dell, so we are going to go ahead and reach on Malik Washington. Again, this is just guessing the arbitrage here that's going to happen in Miami. You have no idea who's going to play well in Miami. I have no idea who's going to play well in Miami. Miami sucks, but at the same time, someone is going to have to play well. I think that he has more upside than Calvin Ridley, Brandon Ayuk, who, if you didn't see, there's new Brandon Ayuk news every time I stream. He's just continuing to be a crazy fuck. But yeah, we just took Jacoby Brissett in one of these. I am super exposed to Jacoby Brissett, who is a faller currently. And this is due to his contract situation, but I think that he will come back up. So that Brissett exposure that I just introduced is not a big deal to me. But let's take a look at who's going to come up. Alvin Kamara, Brandon Ayuk, they are going to remain on the board because no one wants them. And Brandon Ayuk may not go off at all. Sad things as a Niner fan. Darnell Mooney goes first. I have way too much Calvin Ridley, 10.7% Calvin Ridley. Way more than I ever want to be exposed there. We will just take Tua here. 10 picks ahead of ADP. And, you know, he is going to play. That is a guarantee. Trying to take a look at who else we can take here towards the end of this, but I have the ability to take Tyquan Thornton. He may be someone to continue adding to our Chiefs onslaught. Again, in a game where Rashee Rice isn't playing, we saw a lot of upside from Tyquan Thornton. When you look at who Tyquan Thornton is as a prospect, he has played 4 years in the league. He is 25 years old. He's wearing number 2? I thought he was wearing number 80. Huh, he must have changed. He has a total of 5 receiving touchdowns here, but if we take a look at his stats here in the 2025 season, I think Rashee Rice comes after 6 weeks pre suspension. Sorry, where the fuck are his stats? These are his stats, right? I have no idea. If we just take Tyquan Thornton and say, yeah, I believe in Patrick Mahomes. Again, a bet I'm willing to take. And this in 2022 would be an elite team. Or I guess Baker Mayfield isn't that good yet. This is an interesting team, in my opinion, but okay, I don't know what that is, but yeah. I don't hate that pick. I don't think there's terribly high upside. You do see Calvin Ridley may go undrafted in this. Where did Brandon Ayuk end up going? Brandon Ayuk goes 204 with an ADP of 180. 188. So people are finally realizing that Brandon Ayuk is not someone you want to be invested in. People are realizing that he may actually be crazy. George Holani goes. Interesting. But yeah, these are all very solid players. Tyquan Thornton is honestly a better version of Xavier Worthy. If we take a look here at these games, where can I see? Oh, this is 2025 Chiefs. And if we take a look at players in Tyquan Thornton, he has 438 yards and 19 receptions with 37 targets. 23 yards per reception here with 3 touchdowns. Career highs in literally everything. Like, other than targets, I guess, and receptions. But he's shown to be significantly more efficient with the deep shot. Being a deep shot receiver. We don't know exactly if Tyquan Thornton is going to, or if we're going to see the slinging Patrick Mahomes, who is an elite deep ball passer. But if we're already betting this heavily on Mahomes, why not take with our last pick someone who really should never be playing? Someone that has an opportunity if our quarterback 1 does well. But, I mean, week 1, we're probably going to be rolling out Baker Mayfield. And honestly, we may start I'm okay with starting Baker halfway through anyway. So, yeah. And we have a lot of Baker connections here with Jalen McMillan, his wide receiver 2, and Kid on tight end 1. So, his second and third options. And is this a Bucky team? This is a Bucky team. We also have his running back. So this is really the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Kansas City Chiefs all in one team. We are just going to quickly make sure that our exposures are updated. Oh, wait. I just realized I didn't even upload them. Alright? Excuse me. As you see, Malachi Fields has now become someone we are underexposed to. But I don't mind that. Again, I don't understand why his ADP is dropping, but I'm going to wait for it to fall a little bit more before I start investing more. Because I do think that the Malik Neighbors news is not looking great. And that is reflected in the way that he is being thrown around in these drafts. But we take a look at our slow draft here. You're still 2 picks away. Brian Robinson, or Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Jason, CMC, Jonathan Taylor, Amon-Ra, James Cook, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Drake London. You know, this is a very standard first round other than Drake London coming up here. But other than that, you know, our team, we got 3 running backs to start off. This is some start that I am pretty interested in, but this may take forever. I'm not even gonna hold you. It has been a week already, and we are through 4 rounds. As people start going on to auto pick, leaving their 10-hour slates, like this guy doesn't pick anything and goes for 20 hours. It's a whole day. Like, I know I wanted to do this for my extension, but I don't know when this is ever gonna end. Which I guess is not the worst thing in the world, but after doing these 2 drafts, we are still underexposed to Mike Evans and still have a good amount of Jalen Waddle. I will put Mike Evans over Jalen Waddle then. But yeah. We see that we have an equal exposure to these running backs, which I guess just tells you that in round 5, we are very interested in the running back position. All of these guys are fallers in this draft, technically speaking, but based on ADPs at different times, like Jacobs here goes at 43. Kyron is at 32. His ADP is slowly rising. Rashee Rice at 33. I think his ADP has risen slightly, but C team goes CMC, Kenneth Walker, and Josh Jacobs. To me, that is a yikes. But I guess we will see. It is 10:55 p.m. I got work in the morning, so I might be going to sleep early tonight, but really do appreciate you for joining us here. Even if you're here for like 5 minutes, it was quite the experience drafting tonight. Definitely had a few people who sniped the fuck out of me, but